Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are actually probably the easiest decision to make on a smartphone this year. Hear me out. So, whenever the S23 Ultra comes out, it's the first phone of the year. When the OnePlus 11, it came out, one of the first phones of the year. Whenever the Pixel 7a came out, middle of the year. Pixel Fold, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 and Z Flip, they came out towards the end of the year. There's always more phones to come out after them. And I get a lot of comments from people going, should I get this or should I wait for that? Should I get this or should I wait for that? I even had people as recently as a month ago, should I get the iPhone 15 or should I wait for the Pixel 8 Pro? Or should I get the S23 Ultra? Or should I get the Pixel 8 Pro? And that's why it makes an easy decision, because once the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro show up, that's it. That is the end of the year. Like Techtober is basically officially over, and you don't have to worry about any new big flagship phones coming out because they done showed up. They're already here. There might be a straggler that comes in here or there, but really the big phones people care about are the big S series with Samsung, the new iPhones, the OnePlus phone, and then we've got the Samsung foldables and the fall. Those are the real big ones. iPhone, Samsung, pretty much it. OnePlus, and then Google. So the way that Google positions their phone at the end of the year, it makes it easy. Of course, it also kind of makes it harder for their sales, I think, because some people don't want to wait. And that's fine, especially if you weren't happy with the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 7, you might not have wanted to wait. I actually know a lot of people who have since moved on and decided, you know what, I'm going to try out an iPhone, I'm going to try out a Samsung phone, and well, they might not be wrong. I don't have the Pixel 8 or the 8 Pro yet. They look good, they look promising, I'm excited about them, but that's the thing. Once you get to the end of the year, well, you kind of know what you want. Or maybe you might be one of those folks already asking me the question, hey, should I get the Pixel 8 Pro or should I wait for the S25, the S24? Well, that's a little ways off. I would say probably just go ahead and make a decision at this point. But the Pixel 8 looks like an interesting phone, and there's some really cool things about it that really do interest me because they changed things up on the processor again. So they had a formula that they use for the Tensor and the Tensor 2, where normally, whenever you have a smartphone processor, and I've got one right here, you can take a look at this. This is the MediaTek Dimensity 9000. This is how big the chip is inside your phone, and they're actually smaller than this now. So, whenever you talk about the chips, so they typically have 8 cores. They're called an octa-core, 8-core processor, and they'll have one main processor, like one main core that basically is the powerful core. That's the one that they rate and say, well, it's like with Samsung, it's 3.36 gigahertz with their Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. Or you look at the Tensor from the last 2 years, like 2.85 gigahertz. Well, the new one is just over 3 gigahertz with the Tensor G3. So they bumped up the power, but they changed things up. So, like I was just saying, they normally have one chip, they have one core in the chip that's the primary core. Well, the way they did it with the Tensor and the Tensor 2 is they had two. They had two primary cores, but it was still an 8-core chip. So you had the two primary cores, and you had the two mid tier cores, and then the four like low tier cores. And that's kind of how they handle things. You'll have the primary core, which is the most powerful. They have the mid tier ones that kind of handle some of the other secondary medium tasks, and then you have the low power ones for simple things that don't require a lot of power. So they changed and broke the mold for flagship chipsets, and they did two of those, two of the big core instead of just one. Well, now they've gone back to one, but the new Tensor G3 has 9 cores. Yes, it is a 9-core processor. So what they've done is they've created that one high-powered core in the chip, and then they have four medium cores, and then they have four light cores. So this is a very unique setup that I've never seen in a chipset before, and I don't think we've ever seen it. And it's something that's interesting because, well, I hope it works. And of course, they have their dedicated tensor processing unit. They've got a new one of those in there. You might be wondering, what does the tensor processing unit do? It does all that. It does all the AI stuff. That's the big thing. It does a lot of the AI tasks and the machine learning and computational photography, and a lot of stuff passes through there. So Google has taken a lot of those things and offloaded it onto the processor, and that makes it the smartest processor in the game. And that's something a lot of people are like, well, what does that even mean? Well, whenever it comes to a lot of these smart features that phones do now, like when you take a look at the ability to do the magic eraser, or whenever you take a look at doing the voice to text, or whenever it can translate a voice message to a text message that you get on your phone and you can read, there's a lot of these things that traditionally couldn't be done on the phone. They required advanced AI computational photography, and they would be sent off-site to Google's Tensor servers. And now that we have the Tensor chips, they're able to do a lot of these smart features right smack dab on the phone. You've probably seen it even with like the Apple Watch Ultra too. So the Apple Watch Ultra, whenever you would give it voice commands and you would tell it to do certain things, it wouldn't do them unless it was connected to the internet. Now with the new chip that they have in the Apple Watch Ultra 2, it can do those commands directly on the phone. And that's what these smart features are coming to our phones now, and Google's the best at it. They've been in the lead for a while, and that's why whenever you take a look at a lot of these phones and they go, "Oh, well, it doesn't even stack up with the phone 3 years ago." Look, they're looking at benchmarks, and benchmarks for traditional benchmarking don't show up in this way because if you take a look at the older phones, the Tensor 2 and the Tensor 1, their GPUs had massive amounts of cores in them, or had massive amount of extra power that was helping to aid in a lot of these different features that was way, way better than a lot of other phones. So the way you look at a Tensor chip and the way you look at a Google phone is not exactly the same way that you measure. And they're trying to use the same measuring stick for every phone, and it doesn't show up that way. So there's a lot of unique things that you get from a Tensor chip. There's a lot of unique things that you get whenever you get a Pixel phone. And no, it's not just overheating. Apple does that now too. Anyway, I had to throw that joke in there. So there are concerns, I'm sure, whenever it comes to the new Tensor G3, when it comes to the Pixel 8. A lot of people have had some frustrations when it comes to the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 7, and I don't blame you. We've been through the ringer with certain things with these phones over the last couple of years, but hopefully this will finally be the one that shows up and delivers the way that it's supposed to, performs the way that it's supposed to, and impresses the way that it's supposed to. And there have been a lot of those moments, but there's also been frustrations that have kind of held that back. So I'm excited to see how this goes. I will have my phone in the next couple of days. Of course, you can still pre-order them, and I highly recommend you pre-order one if you want to get the phone. I'm not trying to convince you to buy a phone. I'm just saying if you think that you might want to buy one, pre-order it because the pre-order deals will go away and then they'll be like, "Oh, here's 180 bucks for your Pixel 7." Literally, the pricing on the trade-ins is not good to begin with in a lot of ways. And just like last year, as soon as those pre-orders went away, poof, the prices went terrible. Like they were horrible. Everyone's like, "No, I should have traded it in." So don't be in that boat. If you think you might want one, pre-order it. You can always take the sucker back if you don't like it. I mean, you have 2 weeks basically to try it out. But if you pre-order it, that's where the magic happens because right now with Best Buy, if you trade in your Pixel 7, they'll give you 450 bucks, regardless of whether you traded in for the Pixel 8 or the 8 Pro. And with the Pixel 7 Pro, they'll give you 550. Both of those values are higher than Google. Google is not even giving you that much for their own phone, which is ridiculous. You would think that they would believe in their product and they would give you more money than everybody else, but they don't. It's really embarrassing. So Google, be better. But if you want to get the best deal, go to Best Buy. And on top of that, one, I've got links in the description you can use. It'll take you straight there. But you get freebies. If you pre-order the Pixel 8, you get a free pair of Pixel Buds Pro, which they value at $200. So those are really good earbuds. They're like really, really good earbuds. So that's a good thing. $450 trade-in credit, free $200 earbuds. That's $650 value that you're getting for trading in a phone that only costs $599 a year ago. So that's a really good deal. And then with the Pixel 7 Pro, you trade that in. If you pre-order the Pixel 8 Pro, you get a free Pixel Watch 2. Sorry, I almost said Apple Watch again. You get a free Pixel Watch 2 if you pre-order the Pixel 8 Pro. So that's like a 300 and something dollar value, and they're giving you 550 for your Pixel 7 Pro. That basically comes out to about $900, which is the price of the phone. So yes, you do have to pay a little bit out of pocket. They bumped the prices up. I'm not crazy that they bumped the baseline to $699. I'm not crazy they bumped the baseline to $999. But I guess they felt like, hey, we're established enough. We're Google. We can charge this. We'll see how it works. Hopefully they don't fall on their face. We'll see how the sales go. But I think it's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. But anyway, pre-order stuff. If you are going to get one, pre-order it. I've got links in the description. Get your freebies, get your good trade-in deals, because once the pre-order's over, the day it shows up, basically midnight, once we get to October 12th, those deals go away. You don't get the freebies, and you're not going to get as good a traded value. So that's all I got in this video, but I just thought it was interesting. I was thinking about it, and like, this is kind of interesting that we don't have this what if proposition anymore because the phone is here. It's not, well, I like the Pixel 8. I like the Pixel 7. Should I get the S23? Or maybe I should get the OnePlus 11. Now you know. You can directly compare and look at S23, Pixel 8 Pro, Pixel 8. You can look at the OnePlus 11. You can look at the iPhone 15, 15 Pro, and all the cards are out on the table. And now you can make your decision at the end of the year. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.